everyone from beautiful Ho'okina Beach Park, Kona, Hawaii. And this one is for the fat man in his can. And all he can do is drive around, never going nowhere, never having a destination, just existing. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a bum in a van. And he thinks that lake's a beach. That ain't no beach. This is a beach, y'all. Yeah, my friend, they still haven't rebuilt their house. It's up there. I'm kind of thinking now they didn't have insurance on it, which is really sad because it was a beautiful house. Big 2-story, 4-bedroom, beautiful lanai, right on the beach. I mean, it was $1 million home. Hey, Joseph, aloha. Aloha, Jan. Yep, pretty nice. The last couple days have been, hey, Supernova, aloha. Yeah, live action, how about that? I wouldn't have been able to do this 2 years ago. They just put the tower up on the hill right there. I mean, before we used to have to walk around the mountain there to get a signal. So this is wonderful. But this is one of the beaches that we stayed at in the motorhome. During the winter of, let me think. It was the winter of 2013. We had Thanksgiving here, and we had Christmas here, and I'll walk down further. All right, let's see if my tripod's, nope, it's not gonna. Okay, technical difficulties. All right, there we go. Yeah, I have my snorkel gear, but I'm alone, and I don't want to have to ask anybody to watch out for me. I might just go for a swim. But I see a nice little school of tangs out there, the little yellow, the bright yellow fish that everybody wants in their saltwater tanks. But it's lush and green right now. We've had so much rain. I guess in Kona, upslope, Malka, we've had more rain this year than on any record year. But unlike the mainland, when it rains here, it just soaks into the ground. It doesn't run off and pool, and it might do that on the other islands, but not this one. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Tracy. Aloha. Yeah, this is one of my favorite spots. You know, I'll kind of go down that way. This is one, and this is real close to my house, so this is only like 10 miles from my house. Why I don't come down here more often, I don't know. But we've had small craft warnings for the last couple weeks. So, you know, there's no point in coming down here when the swell is just ripping. So, but yeah, it's the owls roost up in those mountain, the holes up there in the mountain, and in the wintertime when the whales are here, it kind of bounces back off that mountain, and you can really hear them. That's one thing I really miss. That winter here was amazing. It with but I got that out of my system. And when Elbo says, "Oh, you've never lived the van life," yeah, I did. For a whole year, but on Hawaii. And I haven't been off the island since November 1st, 2011. So yeah. I'm at my destination. Hey, Patsy, aloha. Oh, it's probably down here, it's probably 80, 82, 83 maybe. A nice little breeze. You know, the palm trees are just kind of swaying a little bit. Beautiful westerly winds, trade winds. Hey, Wolf Dad, aloha. Yeah, I finally made it down to the beach. Yay, me. Don't hate me. But yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of my friend who shared the mini weenie with me. He lives on the other side of the island now, and unfortunately, with all my vehicle issues, I haven't been able to get over there. So I just put a phone call to him and say, "Dude, we're sitting down here in our spot." So yeah, good memories here, real good memories. And the road goes up around the top, and from the cliff there, the water is absolutely clear. I mean, you can see out from the first shelf to the second shelf and then to the deep water. But we used to fish off there. That's an old this used to be a fishing village, and there's still some of the boats, the fishing boats. I don't know how much they really do out here anymore. But the county park ends right there at the edge, and then it's private property. So the beach, where the U-Haul is and stuff, all that area, that's all private land. And that's why they keep the boats here. So they can say it's still a working fishing village. I've met the family a couple times. They have big functions down here and close out the park. And it's just fabulous down here. You know, an emu, pig in the ground. You know, lau lau, lomi. Hey, Rico, aloha. Hey, Jody, aloha. Hey, Leni, aloha. Yeah, Elbo. Elbo. Paging Elbo. Oh, Elbo. Eat your heart out. This is living. What you do is existing. This is living. God, I can be such a bitch sometime, can I? Oh, Jody, nothing. Nobody cares anymore. He goes on his Facebook once a week, whining and crying and how wonderful his life is and blah, 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 blah. You know. But we all know it's, you know, he can't even get 3 people in on his Facebook now. Which I think is hilarious. Nobody loves the king anymore. The king has lost his crown. Wait a minute. He never had a crown. He's not even the king of Facebook. I mean, he did some today. I noticed that our esteemed Joe King. Oh, I see dolphins. Yay, dolphins! Posted it, and he can't even, you know, what, 100 views? And those are just people that want to laugh at him. Oh, somebody's been harvesting the OPE, very small. Those aren't even legal. Those are OPE shells. I mean, that one's not even legal. I think they have to be 2 inches. And the problem is when people harvest them, and when they're not old enough to procreate, then we lose them. Yeah, we used to swim the dolphins. They would come in the morning. They're probably not too much around right now. They would come right here in this cove, and they would wait for us to come out and swim with them. And you're not supposed to do that, but, you know, if they come to you, you can't help that. Yeah, a lot of fun times down here. This is one of my favorite places on earth. Hey, Cajun Kev, aloha. Hey, Darren, aloha. Hey, Patty. Yeah, I'm blessed. I really am. You know, and because I planned my life out, I'm able to live here relatively comfortably. You know, if I hadn't had to put so much in my truck this year, I would have, you know, a nice bank account or savings account. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I hope he's watching this, you know. He wants everybody to think that his life is so grand. Well, I don't have to convince people that my life is grand. All I have to do is this. Just saying. Oh, and there's a few other the so-called bottom feeders that I'm going to address here also. There's so many, I don't even know where to start, but here we go. Richie Rich, you're a pathetic human being. You add no value to this world. All you do is take. And you might want to get a dictionary and improve your vocabulary a little bit, because the way you speak proves that you're an ignorant man. And man, I'm using generously. You're an ignorant child. But that's neither here nor there. And last but not least, we have the so-called newest member of Boit. The skid mark. Yes, folks, the skid mark. Who says anything he wants as long as he can say, "Oh, I was joking afterward. I didn't mean it. I was joking. Can't you guys tell when I'm joking?" No, we can't. And furthermore, you're not funny. And skid mark, What's this I hear that you wanted Noodles to beat you with a belt? Hmm. Interesting. Oh, and there's one last one. Hence I forget last night. Oh, Bergie Boy. Bergie Boy, you are another pathetic human being. You're in that group of Skidmark, Bergie Boy, Richie Rich, Elbo, and a few others. I just don't come to mind right now. They will later. But you all know who I'm talking about. Well, he may have lawyer judges, but I have judge lawyers. And furthermore, I live in Hawaii. He thinks he's so grand because he's got a shitty RV. Oh, silly, silly men. Excuse me. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Silly, silly boys. Now, wouldn't you like to be out there trawling for marlin? Yeah. Yep. Well, he's acting all crazy because he wants documentation of his craziness. Well, what he fails to understand is that that's all good and well, but it doesn't hold weight in court, and it doesn't hold weight with any type of disability. And, oh, Richie Rich, he wants to cry, "You can't do that, I'm disabled." Well, you know what, Richie Rich? I'm disabled too. Go ahead and call me out. You can't, it's not a double standard. Things don't apply just to you. Oh yeah, it is. And this is such a nice place because it's really shaded right here. I'll kind of give you the tour. These trees came back. They were almost dead for a while. But the birds are chirping in the kiawe trees. It's just so weird to look there and not see the house. Because it was a 2.5-story house. And it's just leveled now. And it's so sad. Because if the park was ever full, I was always able to park in Saw's yard. But yeah, so, and then there's parking and nice shade tree. This tree, oh, it, wow, it is growing. It busted the cement around it. Yeah, so I'll show you where we park or where we camp. And actually, this is one of the few places where you can camp on the beach because it is private property. I mean, they have to allow access to the public. Oh, the county's down here. That's nice. And there's the boats. But under the trees there, you can camp. And we had the Mini Winnie backed right up to the cliff right there. I smell something good. Somebody's cooking something good. I mean, there's not even a ripple today. There's no swell. There's no nothing. Just beautiful. In so many ways. I just can't get over the house not being there anymore. That was tragic. And this big tree at one point, we thought it was dead. For a whole year and a half, it didn't have any leaves or anything. But I see now that it's grown where it's pushing out the rocks. And it actually broke the foundation right there in a couple places. But there's the county pavilion. You can rent that out, for functions and stuff. Unfortunately, I can't bring Waddy down here. No pets allowed. But he would just overheat down here. So. Oh, thanks, Tracy. Yeah, it is beautiful. Do I surf? No, I'm kind of old for that. I have great respect for the ocean, and I know that it's stronger than I am. I do snorkel, and I do like to play in the surf and everything. But this is the beach where, let me give you a little backstory. We were here, and it was another day like this, beautiful, everybody out on the beach. And I saw the dolphins out there. And I know better than to be in a hurry. But I wanted to get out and see the dolphins. They were waiting for us. So it was a day that the surf was quite a bit higher than this. It was probably head high. And I lost my train of thought. As I was getting down to the water's edge, I had my fins in my hand, and one of them dropped, and the edge dropped straight on my big toe. And, your first reaction is, oh, you bend down. Oh. And a wave came up as I was standing up and full force right in my face. And it tumbled me backwards right onto my neck. That's why I am now basically permanently disabled. I blew out 2 discs in my neck, crawled out of the water, and I've never really gotten my strength back since. So I really respect the ocean. Yeah, but what better place than to, hey, Misty Valley, aloha. What better place to, be, hey, Stitching Girl, aloha. Yeah, but that was my wake-up call. That was my, you need to pay attention. And I lost my train of thought that day, and it was my own fault. Hard lesson to learn, but very good lesson. So that's why I don't go out without a friend. Even if they were sitting up here and I went out, they could still see me. But I do go out in town where they have the lifeguards. They don't have a lifeguard here. Hey, Cajun, or hey, Kevin, aloha. Big Island, Kona. Hey, honey, aloha. Hi, honey. Honey badger. Honey. I would really like to go back to Maui. That was my first trip here to the islands, was a week on Maui. And a week is never enough. Then I started coming here to the Big Island, and a month wasn't enough time. So, and the story goes that when I retired from my job, I was kind of staying at my sister's, staying at my daughter's, you know, trying to figure out what my next step in life is. And my friend of 20 years who lives here on the island, she called me up and she says, "What are you doing? When are you going to come visit me?" And I said, "Well, you know, I'm doing this, this, and that." She goes, "Well, you know, I have a room here at the house for rent." I said, "I'll be there in 30 days. And took care of business, sold my motorcycle, shipped my truck over, and that was November 1st, 2011, and I haven't left yet. So, but I'm at my destination. I would be content if I never left the island. I really would. Sure, there's things I miss. Oh, you're a guy. Okay. Then I say, "Oh, honey." uh, yeah, well, I had my bike. I lived up up in the Sierras. That's where my last job, my last deployment was up in the Sierra. And I had my motorcycle, and we would ride from Placerville up to Loon Lake, which is, it sits over Tahoe. And if you would go up to the ridge on the back side of it, you'd look over and you would see Tahoe. So that was always one of my favorite rides. But that's why I moved here, is because I got snowed in for 8 days and said I'm never doing snow again. No snow. So yes, Kevin, that's exactly it. You know, it and I was talking to a guy at the dog park, and he said, "Yeah, I used to vacation here." And he said, "The last time I was here," he said, "my next move is I'm going to move there." And he said, "Well, when the things in California got so bad last year, with everything being shut down and everybody working from home, he realized that his job, he could work remotely. So when the opportunity arose, he said, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to work remotely from now on, from Hawaii." And the influx of mainlanders here is amazing. I've never seen so many out-of-state plates. I've never seen so many Tesla cars. There is no place here to rent. There are no rentals on the island. And if they are, a one-bedroom is $1,500 a month. And that's ridiculous. But a lot of people are leaving California because of the tax laws. And I can't blame them, but it sure is making our little island here kind of busy. And I'm kind of a snob when it comes to driving. It's like, obey the laws, stop at stop signs, use your blinker, and drive with aloha. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Lane splitting? Yeah, until you get a mirror upside your helmet. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I would only lane split when traffic was at a standstill. I used to live outside of Sacramento, and you know, the freeways down there are crazy. But we can also ride the diamond lane, which was always good for me because there's never anybody in the diamond lane. No, you have to fly to each island. They used to have a ferry, but they stopped that because they said it was environmentally unfriendly. But yet they let the tourist, the cruise ships come into port. Go figure. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to. You lane split with your car? You are brave. Just... Yeah, I had somebody do that today, or yesterday actually, on a scooter, but they passed me on the right. And I didn't see him, and he's really lucky that I'm a patient driver because I almost took him out. He was in my blind spot, and I stopped at a stop sign, and he kept going. And there was people walking in the bike lane ahead. And he actually had to slam his brakes on. He was either going to hit the people or hit me. So, but the scooter riders, I don't care what anybody says, scooter riders are just asking for death. I tried to ride a scooter here one day. Nope. Not going to do it. Oh, we went out to the Black Sand Beach there on between Hana and Kihei. It was Wainapanapa State Park, and they have cabins there. And one of our nights on Maui, we stayed at the cabins there. That was great when we got there. But later in the day, it started raining, and they had metal roofs. We couldn't hear each other talking. I don't think any of us got any sleep that night. Hey, Marilyn, Mike, aloha. Hey, and I'm aloha. You're working hard on the cars. Too bad you weren't here. I need some work on mine. Well, there you go, Ann. Right on. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep mine on the road. I don't want to have car payments here. What's the point? You can only go 200 miles before you're actually heading back home again. And there's only so far you can drive on an island. Although in 10 years, I've put 50,000 miles on my car. So. Hey, Kobajan, aloha. Yeah, there's a man who knows a lot about cars. Oh, and I have changed my mind about the Ford Maverick. I'm not going to do it. After speaking to a couple people saying that they're assembling them in Mexico and there is no quality control. Nope. And I just have to remember back when I had a Maverick in the 80s. They were shit cars. And I think the name kind of fits it. It's going to be a shit car, so I'm not going to put my money into it. I'm at Ho'okena. 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 It's an old fishing village that is now a nice place to bring the kids. Calm water. Well, luck has a little bit to do with it, but planning has the most to do with it. And actually, now that I'm retired, and this is going to sound bizarre, but when I retired in 2010, right after the bubble burst, you know, and my department didn't know if we were going to get funding, I was offered the golden handshake, which I graciously accepted. And with that little bit of coin in my pocket, and that was steady, that, you know, I can do that. And I worked here up until my neck injury that I explained a little earlier. And then when I became permanently disabled, I now take more home than I did when I was working a 40-hour-a-week job. But it really wasn't 40 hours a week because we had to give the furlough up. We took a 15% pay cut. And when I retired, I paid more in taxes than I took home. So now, I have more expendable cash and permanent money, never waivers, that I actually make more money sitting at the beach than I did when I was working for the state. Go figure, right? Yeah, well, you know what, Joseph? I actually went and talked to the guy at the dealer. He said they don't even bring in the base models. That $20,000 price point is on paper. You're not going to get one of those for that amount of money. It doesn't come like that. I said, well, that's false advertisement. He says, no, there's an asterisk behind it, and that's how we get around it. Okay, well, for the basis, what would, if you brought in one of those with no other bells or whistles? He said, what do they start at? And he said 24,000. And I said, you're full of shit. I said, screw Ford. That's just wrong. So we kind of had a heated debate on that. And that's one reason why I decided not to, because if the salesperson is going to, be like that. Oh, and then he wanted me to put a deposit down for one. And I said, they haven't even started production yet. He said, oh, I've had 3 or 4 people come in and put deposits down. I said, well, you ain't going to get one from me. So I talked to my mechanic, and he reassured me that he'll keep my truck on the road. It may cost a little bit, but he'll keep it on the road for me. And he said, and I won't make unnecessary repairs. And I said, I can live with that. Yeah, those Broncos, they've got 2 over on Honolulu. One has 1,000 miles and the other one has 400 miles. So people are already bringing them back. So yeah, those Broncos, very overrated. But who wouldn't want to buy a vehicle from Walter White? I mean, come on now. He's the man. Say my name. Yeah, they are going to end up with a bunch of recalls. You're right. And they're overpriced anyway. I mean, if I'm going to buy a Bronco, I'm going to buy an original. And if it was in bad shape, I'd rebuild it. Because those are bricks and sticks head and shoulders above anything they can make these days. They didn't make them out of plastic, and if they're made out of American steel. These new cars, half of them are plastic. I mean, on my Xterra, every wheel well, every bumper, every front, the front grille and stuff, they all fade to gray. Yeah. Well, that's why I want to keep my little Xterra. Because for one thing, my mechanic, he doesn't mind working on it because it's just a little four-cylinder, 4-speed, or 5-speed. He said, the 6-cylinder in the Xterra, don't do it. He said, they're a bitch to work on, and they break all the time. Okay. He said, yours, with what you have in it, keep it. Okay. Convinced me on that. And I was only thinking that because I have put so much money into it, and I could have bought a new car, basically. But I've had it since it's brand new. Why do I want to get rid of it and take on somebody else's problem? No. No. So, well, you guys, I think I'm going to get out of here because I think I'm going to go for a swim. And if I would have thought, I would have brought the GoPro, but I didn't, so you can't do that. But it was like my old boss. He had a K5 Blazer, and he restored it, and he didn't do the paint or anything like that. He just did the engine and transmission and stuff. And he still has it. I mean, this is, I think he got it like 25 years ago. But, all right, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon. Don't hate me for coming to the beach and going neener, neener, neener. Have a wonderful day. And in closing, Elbo, Richie Rich, Bergie Boy, Skid Mark. You can all kiss my ass. On that happy note, folks, aloha.